and Yuma.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you on a Friday. Mel, it's Friday already. Mel's with me.
Yes.
6:05. Good morning, sir. 6:05. Of course, Hyundai of Yuma sponsors, advertisers on the show. America's best warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles, 10 years, 100 on that drivetrain. Yeah, so, yeah, because they believe in it. Go out there and see them out there on 32nd Street, veteran-owned business. Whether it's a little pickup truck, the Santa Fe, which is an adventure vehicle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not going to use it to haul gravel. You want a more conventional truck for that. But yeah, this is going to fit I think a big niche, and they've been very popular. So go out and test that. The Palisade, another very hot car, but most populars are just transportation. The Elantra, which is just a nice size for a family. Mm-hmm. Small enough. It's what I have in a little Elantra. Mine's a GT version, which could get me in trouble someday, but hopefully not. No. Mm-hmm. We'll see. A lot of news. We're going to get to the January 6th thing a little bit. And the celebration the left had just falling all over themselves. Boy, they really enjoyed that, didn't they?
Somebody enjoyed it.
Hey, you even called in yesterday, little sideways over Biden's aggressiveness, and that was horrible for a president. I went back and saw it.
Did you see it? Well, the fact being aggressive is fine. Being honest would have been nice.
Honesty would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
That was
fabrication.
99% lacking.
It's fabrication. We got a lot to say about that because the reason but they're doing it. I'm interested in that. Why are they doing it? What are they doing it? And we'll analyze all that.
It's all because to destroy Mr. Trump.
Of course,
it's that simple. Nothing else.
I think it's even deeper than that. But you're right.
Because right now Trump is seen as the head of the Republican Party.
He is absolutely the head.
And so
because that poll numbers show that
if you can destroy the head, the head, you can.
Yeah, but I think it's even more evil.
Well,
it's more evil. The target. He's part of the conduit, but there's more.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Before I get into that, this one just tickled me this morning. There's a Texas restaurant in Houston area that's getting just beat up in social media by some groups.
Okay.
But yet they're busy as all get out, so they're not apologizing.
Yeah.
But some groups are hating what they're doing, Mel.
Okay, what are they doing?
The cancel culture. They got a marquee out front, one of the signs that they always put a bunch of jokes and memes on. I kind of like those. I even like some of the churches that do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some of them always have some clever things up there. I like this one. So, but it got the ire of some because it dealt into some of the political stuff.
Okay.
And some people just have no sense of humor. They put up there, no mask needed unless you look like Nancy Pelosi. Well, that just drove them nuts. They're just vibrating on sidewalks. How dare you do something like that to an icon like Nancy Pelosi? Of course, this is the same group that allows the Hollywood types to take the stage during an awards benefit and say, F, Donald Trump, we hate Donald, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a double standard there.
Has been since
forever.
But it's
more
since Trump walked down the stairway and said he was going to run.
Yeah, I think it's more pronounced all the time, though. The left is just angry, fighting, spitting, and it's acceptable. But don't dare put up a sign that says no mask needed unless you look like Nancy Pelosi. and they changed it, though. They did. They said no mask needed unless you are Nancy Pelosi. And then tagged it with "Let's go, Brandon." Yeah. So that's a real defiance that I kind of embrace, Mel. Yeah. Heck, man, if we were close by, I'd buy you lunch. We'd go over there.
Yeah, if we were close by, I'd let you.
Say, I'd wear a mask that had a Nancy Pelosi figure on front of it. Have him make me take it off. Please make me take it off. Whatever.
I don't know if I would walk in with you or not.
It would be.
I'd have to be awfully hungry.
It'd be Halloween now. I'd do it on Halloween. Okay. But the "Let's Go Brandon" thing has been hilarious, and yet there's some that think it's like hate speech. They're trying to get it made hate speech and everything. Just over the top, just beside themselves, incredulous. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, gangsters.
Good morning, OG.
Did Mel get his dose of Biden yesterday?
Oh, he got more than he could
Well,
handle.
I'll tell you what, I don't normally watch those things, but I did watch yesterday, and
Yeah.
I went away. I was infuriated.
Yeah.
That's being nice about it.
He even called the show to tell me.
But he sat there and just plain the fact that he was forceful and good, and that's fine. He should be forceful.
Yeah.
But the fact is, he just plain out lied.
Was not a
about what happened.
lied, and it wasn't a unity speech.
And it was, and for a president who said he's going to unify the country, it did anything but unify the country. It was one of the most divisive 20 minutes on television.
Yeah.
You know,
And it was a fabrication. It was a lie.
You know, CNBC's.
Well, Biden is doing exactly as his bosses are instructing him to do with his teleprompter and his speech writing.
Probably true. Yeah.
None of this is his idea, Mel. It's all coming from his boss, and I would melt old Doc's soul down if I told him who Biden's boss is. It was a terrible Doc out there in the foothills to pieces.
No.
Brain them, but I won't. So he's good. But the sole reason for shutting down Washington, D.C. is what I called you about. And with the chain link fences, y'all remember that, and the activating of the 25,000 National Guardsmen, they weren't good enough to put in hotels. They put them in the parking garages in that cold weather. Remember that?
I do.
All right. Well, and that was all free because the taxpayers paid for all that. But the reason they did that was to create movies. And remember, they run that guy that was running around marching on that bicycle filming. They run him off, and he ended up in Hong Kong for sure. Remember?
Yeah.
I forget what they call the penguin guy. Remember him?
I remember the guy doing video. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they called him the penguin guy. They run him out, and he ended up in Hong Kong. But I saw all this coming. I truly did. I did. The Satanists have painted Trump as the evil devil now. Okay? Everything that they're guilty of, they're pointing it at Trump.
Yep. It seems to be the case. Yeah. I agree.
That's what it looks like.
Everything they are, Trump is. This is called a switcheroo in the crook world. They call it a switcheroo in the car business. You lowball them, you take them, get them in there. Remember, you switch them to another car. Mm-hmm. You don't remember those days?
Oh, I tried to stay away from those, but yes, I knew they happened.
No. They're usually like a very what do you call it? That word stealth. They're very stealth in doing it. They're very good, sir.
They're smooth. Yeah. They're smooth. They're smooth and oily.
Yeah, they are. And you won't even know what's going on until you get down, you sign your name, and you end up with a $10,000 car that ain't worth $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But three big weapons they got, and right now they're using them, and they're going all out. See, all this is coming. Those memories that they filmed of the National Guard and the gates, they're coming out now saying, "Oh, they were so scared to come to work that we had to have the gates and all that," and they got filmed. And they're going to try Trump. They're coming after him. Yeah. It's all going to be showcased on every media between now and November the 1st, election day. Because they got to cover for another rigged election. That's why they're doing this, guys.
You're correct on that. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Oh, yeah,
but
I am.
It's deeper than Trump, though. They're going after anybody and everybody. They're just using Trump as a conduit to go to everybody.
Trump,
yeah.
Well, look, Trump is the guy that had the 30,000 people in rallies, and Biden had none. Okay.
Yeah.
Trump is the guy they're going after, the guy they got to take down, because Trump got in the way of the communist agenda. Now, here, they have what they call, if anyone remembers the Cold War, do you remember the Cold War?
Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah, grew up in it.
Okay. This is a prime example of where we are today. The Cold War. The Cold War was a war against communism for over 40 years. The 1977 Federal Department of Education, the one that I criticized, was designed to promote and induce the more liberal arts-educated agendas intended to protect a communist philosophy. That's what the liberal arts agenda was about. Right. Example, free trade by communist goods made from Cold War countries. That's what it was designed to do, and that's what we've been doing with China. Remember the $500 billion imbalance payments back and forth?
I don't. I know.
All right. Okay. Well, and Russia must maintain its boogeyman status. Because you need that. Sometimes you'll need a little boogeyman to come out there and stir things up. That's what Russia is. But backdoor deals for promoted Russia little gas stations. You know Russia has gas stations on the East Coast. You knew that, right?
I don't know that. No, I don't know.
Yeah. They've had it for years. Petco or something like that. But they're all over the East Coast, New York particularly.
That's fine.
But Russia has those by way of backdoor deals to promote communist favor. That's what I call that. The communism, see, was born by the Illuminatis, and I ain't gonna go no farther than that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This much. I can. They have three big weapons now. Here they are. Inflation. They got COVID surges, and a supply chain shortage. This will bring you to bear. I'm telling you. And then you get this election. These guys have planned this. See, Republicans are so freaking stupid. They just wing it and use their narratives over and over and over. They don't have a plan of their own.
Oh, I agree. They don't. I think they're moving around to see what's working and grabbing a hold of it.
Russ, they have their little pecks bill, like a bird pecking around. I don't want anyone to misunderstand me when I say pecker, because they got the little bills pecking around, and every agenda that supports American way of life, they've got their fingers in it.
I think so. I got to run, man.
Okay,
take care, buddy.
Take care.
Bye. That's OG.
Yes.
He gets into the woods and the weeds, and I don't know where he's going all the time, but I never did mention the name of the restaurant, Mel, in case you're in Houston. It's Presley's Southern Good Eatery is where you need to go over there and support them on their meme signs and make sure that, you order breakfast or something. I don't know.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a place where you can go in, you can get okra.
Maybe. I would say so. But very few, the cancel culture is so huge and there's such a huge amount of anger out there that not very many people could do a meme about no mask needed unless you look like Nancy Pelosi. But it is kind of hilarious unless you're Nancy Pelosi. We'll be back. AM 560. KBLU.
Temperatures will trend a little bit warmer on this Friday. Clear this morning, then a sunny afternoon with light winds at a high of 74. The low overnight will drop to 49 under a clear sky. A little bit cooler tomorrow. Clouds will move in with a high near 70. Then a sunny into the weekend on Sunday with a high once again topping out the low 70s. If you're a valued customer, you deserve a simple gesture of appreciation from your credit card company. And that's why Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Discover, exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply. I'm meteorologist Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
Arizona Marketplace is the largest and best outdoor market in Yuma County. Looking for unique items? Arizona Marketplace is your place. It's safe, clean, even the bathrooms, shade, daily entertainment, food vendors, and RV storage. If unique is what you seek, they have everything you're looking for. Daily entertainment suitable for all ages. So round up the crew and head over to Arizona Marketplace. You just have to explore it. 3351 South Avenue 4E. Open Thursday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you warm and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1-HOUR for a free service call with completed repair. Don't forget, we're
always on time or you don't pay in time. Always on time or you don't pay.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Would you look at the time? It's tax time. You already know H&R Block does taxes, but here's what you may not know when you file with H&R Block, like how you can get expert help in person or virtually. Plus, our tax pros average 10 years of experience. You can even request to work with the same tax pro every year, and your biggest possible refund is always guaranteed. No one offers more ways to help with your taxes than H&R Block. At H&R Block, help is here.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. It's Friday morning, 6:20. Mel's in studio.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
I just realized it's my brother Randy's birthday today.
Is it?
Yeah, I had to check my phone to make sure I didn't have any guests today. I don't have any guests today, but my brother Randy is turning something. I don't know. I guess he must be 60.
Is this the trucker?
Yeah, he's in town though.
Okay.
He was on the road for like 5 weeks or something, and he said I needed a break, and he came back into Yuma, which he moved here like a few months ago in Yuma. Although that doesn't mean we're going to see him much. It's one of them guys that jumps in the trucks and takes those.
Takes off. Huh?
Yeah, just takes stuff all over the place. So let's talk about the January 6th deal yesterday. And on the surface, it sucked. I mean, it was.
The more
I'm talking about the celebration yesterday.
The more you looked into it, it sucked even more. So,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I just hate the lack of transparency. I hate the lack of a true story. I hate the lack of framing it as it was. I hate the lack of that. You got 500 political prisoners that haven't seen a judge, and it's unnecessary.
yeah.
But they do this under Patriot Act, which they're treating them as terrorists instead of U.S. citizens, and they're allowed to do that, for 2 years. I mean, being allowed to do it and making it right are two different things.
That's right.
And here's some things I heard, and then we'll talk about some of the events. But the use of the Patriot Act is really what the left is after right now, to go after political enemies. Now, the political enemies does not stop at Trump. Trump is a conduit. No. Political enemies would be anybody that's associated with Trump, affiliated with Trump, or the party that Trump is in. And what they're wanting to do is make a case for, that the United States is under attack, it's in trouble, and all that, and then take access to tapping and spying on fellow Americans.
On citizens, right.
And that's where we're going.
Yeah.
We're spying on citizens under the guise of, national security,
Right.
which is what the communist countries do. Everything's for national security. Whenever they put people in prison or re-education camps and all that kind of stuff. So this is just a prelude to what because look, Mel, and we've talked about it here on the air, that this election coming up, they seem to ignore that there's an election coming up, that they don't care what the poll numbers are, and they don't.
No,
they don't care.
They have in place.
There's something going on.
Plans to do what happened.
Normally
a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Normally a political party will do all they can to appease voters to make sure they get reelected. These guys don't care. Right now, they don't care, and that's why they're doing stupid stuff. They're way out of line because they know that the elections can be, taken into manipulated, whatever they want to call it. But and to do that, they need a national crisis, whatever, and that's how they change it under COVID. Now the COVID may be burning out, and by burning out, there's a couple of things. Not only the disease, and they're talking the Omicron. And look what it's done in South Africa. Now they got a head start on us. South Africa, those numbers are falling now.
Yeah.
Ours are still going up. We're not burning out anything at this point.
The Omicron seems to be not all that dangerous, really.
Well, when I say numbers going up, I mean infections, not deaths.
Yeah.
That's what's not going up because it's much milder and all whatever. But they need something. They need a conduit, and that's going to be the Patriot Act, which they will do things that never was intended, but it doesn't matter. It's in writing.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's law of the land. And all they have to do is label it.
The Patriot Act, right from its very inception.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it as being dangerous. Let's put it that way.
And obviously
I was opposed to it right from the very start.
And now we have an act in place that we can spy on U.S. citizens. We can do the things that shouldn't be done, that are protected under the Constitution. This one kind of gives an exception to that because of terrorism. So yesterday was theater. Obviously, they had Hamilton on there. Theater. to let everybody know that this is 100% pure terrorism, and we need to, drill down. Which means they're going to start tapping and going into Republican allies. Anybody that's allied with Trump is going to be suspect, and that's going to be half the population.
Yes.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yeah, Russ, I think it's over half the population now. It's probably getting up to 60% or so.
Yeah, probably.
And they have to keep selling the lie that most people agree with them because that's how their main source of power is controlling the information flow.
Right.
But that is degrading. And if they can't control the information, they lose, and they're getting desperate. So they get more obvious and more desperate. But that's not what I called up about.
Uh-oh. What'd you call up about?
Well, I try to give Second Amendment updates, but this is more of a hunting and firearm update in that in 2021, we had several people. It was a record year for people being killed by bears in North America. And to show you how infrequent and rare this is, there were 6 people killed by bears that we know of, and I think we know of all of them, in North America. And there's one that's in dispute. I mean, it's being investigated by an overworked coroner's office in British Columbia. And we probably won't know for another 6 months whether they find that the bear actually killed this woman or not. I mean, they found her dead in a blueberry patch with, a bear had inflicted some damage, considerable damage, including potentially fatal damage on her. But I guess they're trying to see if she died of a heart attack first before the damage was inflicted.
I would have.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
But anyway, so one of the first ones killed in 2021 was an avid outdoorsman and who was also a guide just outside of Yellowstone Park, named of Carl Mock.
Oh.
And he had a can of bear spray with him. And when it first came out, the reports were, it wasn't noticed whether he used the bear spray or not, but all they mentioned was that the safety tab was off the bear spray. Then I contacted the spokesperson for Wyoming Fishing. I think it was Wyoming. Might have been, I think it was Wyoming. Might have been Montana Fish and Game, I think. And they said, oh, yeah, there was bear spray residue found on Mr. Mock. So then I said, well, sounds like a bear spray failure. Finally, the investigation came out a few days ago. The full investigation, which I read the report, and the entire can of bear spray had been sprayed, and considerable bear spray residue was found on the bear a couple days later when they killed it.
Oh. So the bear spray was not a factor in saving a guy's life.
It was
then.
a clear bear spray failure fatality. Mr. Mock, the avid outdoorsman, was not carrying a firearm with him. And what we find is that bear spray has been completely oversold to the American public with what amount to fake statistics claiming that it's more effective than firearms.
Oh.
But it's not.
Oh, I would never have guessed that they would even try to sell that.
I would never have thought that it was.
Yeah.
There are essentially, the narrative goes to essentially 2 studies that were done. Tom Smith, and I forget Herrero's first name. Tom Smith's a professor, I think, out of Brigham Young University, and then I think it's Stephen Herrero out of Cavalry in Canada. I think it's Alberta. I have to check. But anyway, there were 2 studies that were done. One was the efficacy of bear spray in deterring bear attacks, in which they looked at a bunch of bears where quite a number of their statistics were from park rangers who would go around and spray bears that were like nosing around campgrounds and such, including, I am told, 2 polar bears that they sprayed from inside of a vehicle.
Oh.
And then they had grizzly bears too, and well, they didn't tell you there were only 3 of the grizzly bears that were sprayed were aggressive, and 2 of those attacks resulted in minor injuries to the people who were doing the spraying.
Oh. Yeah, it made them mad then. Okay.
Well, I don't know. They didn't do much injury, a few scratches. They didn't have to be hospitalized for days. And then they included incidents that were reported from other people in which there were a fair number of people around, like maybe 10 or 15 in a group, and the bear gets sprayed and it runs off or whatever.
Yeah.
And they include every person in that group in the statistics.
Oh,
So they could claim that of all the people that were carrying bear spray, 98% of them were not injured.
So one incident
That's how they
where
came
there's
up with that.
one incident could be
That's how they
20
came up with
people.
that
Yeah.
number.
Oh, okay.
And then they looked at incidents where people were carrying firearms, and they looked at a whole bunch of incidents, and they excluded a bunch of them because they said, well, it wasn't really an attack.
Was it
So
who's
they
who's
looked
doing
at
this?
aggressive bears that actually attacked with firearms, and then
Any
compared those.
yeah.
And in many of the cases, the firearm was never fired.
But who's doing the survey? Was it the bear spray company that's selling the product?
No, it was Tom Smith and Stephen Herrera were the two major scientists of that. There are some others, I think. Those are the major
Anti-gun
writers
people,
that I
then.
recall. So, and then what people did, and I can't say that Tom Smith and Stephen Herrera did this themselves. I haven't seen that precisely. Tom Smith denies it, and he says, you should never compare these two studies. But widely, across the media, and you just do a search, you'll find it everywhere, bear spray is 98% effective. You're much less likely to be injured if you use bear spray, and firearms are not nearly as effective as bear spray. From those two studies, that's what has been blasted around.
All right.
Well, my own research, in which I've collected every incident in which pistols, because I was focusing on pistols, were fired in defense of a bear, from a bear, pistols are 97% effective. 104 cases, only 3 of them where the pistol failed to stop or to shoot.
And were those people just bad shots or just fired too
No,
late?
We could do a whole show on it. But in one, the guy climbed a tree, and while he was climbing the tree, fired the pistol. It doesn't seem like he ever actually hit the bear. And then another one, this is the funniest, and it's tragic. There was a polar bear up near Svalbard Island. For whatever reason, the people who were crew from a tour ship were out, and they had a flare gun and a .22 pistol. And the polar bear attacked. It ignored the flare and ignored a couple warning shots from the pistol. And then it attacked somebody, and somebody shot at the bear from about 50 feet away. And then the bear stopped attacking the one person, came after the person with the pistol, whereas the guy with the pistol threw the pistol to the first guy who was being attacked.
Oh, gosh.
Then the bear attacked that person. The first guy who was being attacked got the pistol, fired a couple shots at the bear. The bear stopped attacking the second person it attacked and went after the guy with the pistol again, who then threw the pistol back to the first guy. As you can see, this doesn't exactly go for precision marksmanship or, getting a bullet into the brain.
Yeah.
It ended up with one guy dead, the other severely wounded, and they retreated to the cruise ship, whereupon people came out with rifles and killed the bear.
Sounds like great fun for the bear at the time. It probably
It's
was like a game.
This isn't the way you defend well.
We're playing
So
hot
that was
potato.
another failure, and then the final one was a guy with a .357 up in Alaska who fired a shot in the general direction of the bear, then dropped down to the ground and covered his head and cowered in fear while the bear came up and chomped on him for a while. And then as the bear was going away, said, I was kind of injured, and I don't think I ever hit the bear, but I fired another couple shots in its general direction, whereupon the bear came back and mauled him up some more. So those are the failures.
Yeah. The failures don't sound like people with their heads screwed on
When I
straight.
write the articles, I tell people, read the failures, see if you can see if there was any human error, whether it was the fault of the firearm or what happened.
All right.
So anyway, I thought you'd find that amusing and interesting, and
Appreciate the call, buddy.
and continue back on exposing the corruption in our governing institutions.
Take care, sir. Bye-bye. We'll be right back. AM 560.
Arizona Marketplace is the largest and best outdoor market in Yuma County. Looking for unique items? Arizona Marketplace is your place. It's safe, clean, even the bathrooms. Shade, daily entertainment, food vendors, and RV storage. If unique is what you seek, they have everything you're looking for. Daily entertainment suitable for all ages. So round up the crew and head over to Arizona Marketplace. You just have to explore it. 3351 South Avenue 4E. Open Thursday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
If you're struggling to pay your energy bill or know someone who is, we're here to help. APS customers have a variety of programs and resources available. Find bill assistance to reduce your monthly payment or help pay down the bill. Short-term relief, like crisis bill assistance, can help during a rough patch, while our energy support program reduces your bill every month. Explore all your bill assistance resources and see if you qualify at aps.com/here to help.
Hi, I'm Russell McLeod with Accurate Automotive Attention. Come in and see for yourself why your friends and neighbors once again voted Accurate Automotive as Yuma's best auto repair shop. We are Yuma's only AAA approved auto repair company, and with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, excellent customer service, repairs done right the first time, and our satisfaction guarantee, you are sure to be pleased with our service. Accurate Automotive has set the standard for excellent service for over 52 years, and we are proud to be your dealership and quick lube alternative.
Spectrum Mobile is reinventing wireless again. Get unlimited on 2+ lines for $29.99 a month per line. No contracts, no added taxes or fees. Includes nationwide 5G. Save up to 60% with Spectrum Mobile. Get unlimited on 2+ lines for $29.99 a month. Call 855-438-2999 or visit a store near you.
Offer valid for new customers on 2+ unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Savings based on 2-line comparison of unlimited plans among major national carriers as of 9/20/21. Prepaid excluded. Restrictions apply.
Mickey B's Cocktail Lounge has a new look because they have new ownership. Come celebrate to live entertainment and dance to your favorite oldies or country. If singing is your thing, karaoke every Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. till 10. Mickey B's is a supporter of our local veterans. So mark an appointment on your calendar to join in. Bring a friend or the whole office. Mickey B's opens 10 a.m. daily. 12635 South Frontage Road.
If you feel America is facing more dangers than ever, you're right. An increasing number of things are falling apart daily. That's why you need to prepare for more of the unexpected, and that includes food shortages. When people panic, grocery stores run out of food fast. Would you survive without food for days, weeks, even months? The smart folks are buying emergency food now. Take this moment to shop MyPatriotSupply.com. We're America's leader in preparedness. My Patriot Supply has earned over 47,000 4-star and 5-star reviews. Our delicious food kits average 2,000 calories per day and last up to 25 years in storage, so it's there when you need it. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com, order a food kit or two, and we'll ship quickly and discreetly to your door. Don't wait for the news to tell you something bad happened again. Rather, be more self-reliant and prepared. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. Mel's in studio.
Good morning.
And I have a phone call. You're on the air.
Buenos dias, senora. Mel, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Hey, first of all, Russ, I want to give a shout out to veteran Dave. I met him last night.
Yeah, he got a text. Said he finally met
did,
Gilbert.
huh? Yeah, we had a good time. I want to also give a shout out to, I know I'm going to butcher her name, Rosalind. She's one of our members. She gave a great thing on January 6th last night. She read a letter from one of the prisoners.
Okay.
And we also had a candle vigil for the prisoners of.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's pretty nice.
I want to make sure she gets a great shout out tonight or today. Appreciate what she had, and she also brought something out up that I remember you and Mel discussing this way back, maybe a year ago. The Nuremberg rules that was enacted to help us from being poked without a complete investigation in the drugs that are being used. And maybe you could put a little summary on it this morning.
I'm not really familiar with it.
Yeah, you guys spoke. It was about you cannot use drugs unless it's been completely tested.
Oh, you mean mandate them? Mandate. Yeah, you can't mandate legally. You can't mandate any kind of drug on anybody unless it's been fully approved by the FDA. which, they're
Yeah.
saying this has been, but it has not. What they've done is they've approved something other than the drug you've been given. They played the old OG switcheroo. They they did approve a drug, but then they gave you something else. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have anything on that, how that developed, the Nuremberg rules.
Oh, I
you can
don't
bring it
really
out
know, but
today.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
All right.
Like I said, if you could do that today, that'd be great. She brought it up last night. Someone asked her a question about that. She gave a really neat summary. And I remembered you guys talking about it, like I said, a year ago, maybe when this COVID crap came out.
Yeah.
And she answered the question pretty good, much better than I could. And a lot of what I was thinking about was what you guys brought up. And if you could find it again and tell the people in your audience what that's all about and what's going on. And
Man, you're going to cause me to have to do homework again. All right.
The government is spitting on our face. By law and all this other garbage that happens. Those rules.
They're hurting
you
us.
can't do that.
All right, buddy.
Yeah. All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you,
I
sir.
mean,
All right.
both of y'all.
Well, both of us. Yeah, we're both here. We'll both take credit. Unless it's a problem, then I just give it to Mel.
Thank you very much.
A couple things. My fact check, Edward, sent me something about OG switcheroo comment. Said what he was stating with Trump is not really, it's incorrect, call it switcheroo. That's a substitution of something that you've been promised. It's not it. He says what they are doing against Trump is creating a negative baseline. Everything that they do bad, they state it was what Trump does. So if they're doing something negative, they'll say that's what Trump does. And this links a memory of a bad feeling to someone else. So that when it hurts you in your life or your memory recalls Trump and you blame them. Joseph Goebbels started this practice. That's creating a negative baseline. Sounds much more technical than the old switcheroo. Plus, so you start labeling them, and that's and we've heard that before many times. I mean, we've stated it many times. Gee, they seem to blame Trump for everything they do. They do it and then blame Trump for being that person. And apparently Goebbels started that. Joseph.
And Edward's probably right. I mean, the Nazis had this all figured out a long, long time ago.
Propaganda and everything.
How to use propaganda.
Creating a negative baseline, so you're associating Trump with a certain behavior, even though he's not the one doing it. It doesn't matter. You're going to saturate
It goes back to the old thing, tell the lie often enough, and people start believing it no matter what.
Very similar. Very similar.
So
absolutely.
It's just to say that Edward's right, he's probably right.
He also stated, I asked Dean the wrong question when I said, who did the study, the bear people, the bear spray people?
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, what I should have asked is who funded the study? That's more important, is who funded it. And they have to tell you. It's part of the studies is where the funding comes from is more important than who did it. And I think that's fair. Of course, that's what I was kind of alluding to when I said who did it. I kind of meant who funded it, but then that's what I should have asked. Is who funded it? Yeah, exactly right. Not who did it, because that could cover it. A good comment, a very good comment. Because quite often in my mind, I'm thinking of who paid for it, but then that's what I should ask for is who funded that deal. Getting back to January 6th, which was, I think it's something. Did I hear somebody say that there was somebody? I'm sure there is somebody, but that wanted to make January 6th some kind of national holiday, like in remembrance, a day that will live in infamy type stuff. But
it was. Excuse me. That phrase was used in one of the articles I remember reading, but.
Yeah, kind of. They're just overplaying it, and many people said yesterday in the commentaries that the left overplayed this thing like stupid. Overplayed it.
Yes.
And then they lied about it, which is really terrible. But
and Biden overplayed it big time.
Oh,
yesterday.
he's just part of it.
He just went wild.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Mel and Russ. How are we doing?
Doing
Hello,
well.
Carl.
Good morning, sir.
I'm going to give you my Friday 2 cents.
All right.
The next time I go bear hunting, I will not go to Walmart and buy me a can of bear spray. I'm going to go to Sprague's and buy me a 44 Magnum. So
Well, that's good. That's
and
good.
it's very good.
I think you learned something.
I did. I'm really happy. I'll be happy all day now that I know next time I go bear hunting, I'll
Yeah.
what to do.
Don't waste your time with that bear spray. That's better in the hand of the toolbox of the Antifa crowd, for riots. That's what they use that bear spray for. Yeah.
Yeah. Only they get theirs from the McElhaney Cattle Company.
Okay.
And but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be downtown Date Festival tomorrow with my petition to say, hey guys, if you want to vote in the state of Arizona, you need to show me a picture ID.
Well, that's right. And when are you going to be? You're down there tomorrow, right? Or down at the festival tomorrow?
yes.
Okay.
I got 500 sheets where I can get signatures, and I want to see how many of the 500 I can get. So there's got to be 500 people in Yuma. They would say, hey, yeah, if you want to vote in my state, show me a picture ID. If you want me to show you a picture ID to go to the bank or even going to the Democratic convention, you got to show them picture ID. So
Right. Well,
you know
that's
what?
it.
I'm kind of
Even to
I'm
get
kinda proud of my.
even
Go
get
ahead.
food stamps or anything, you need a picture ID.
Yeah, you need a picture ID.
Right.
Well, I'm kind of proud of my face. So my face is a face of an American citizen. And that doesn't matter what color you are either. You're just, if you was born here, you're an American citizen.
Right.
And people leave the need the damn color out of it because we're all the same. You shoot anybody or they cut themselves, red blood comes out red. Right?
Well, we seem to be, all the same species. People forget that, but yeah, we want to separate ourselves into isolation, and that's what the Biden administration is trying to do: is create groups to where we can fight each other. Just tremendously horrible,
right.
horrible.
But I don't think most of the people think that way.
Well, no, they've been conditioned by the current politics to start blaming others and be a victim or something else. Yeah.
Yeah. And one Democrat told me the reason the gas prices were so high because of the greedy corporations. And I said, well, have a nice day, buddy.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous these people really are. They stood back and watched President Biden shut down all the gas lines and all this, and then tell me it's the greedy corporations.
Yeah.
I'm not that stupid. I only went to high school, but I survived for many years.
Well, surviving high school's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was real good because I didn't like it at all.
Me either.
But anyway, Russ,
All right.
come down, see us tomorrow, and speak up.
You got it.
Let's put it. Bye.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye. That's Carl. He'll be downtown tomorrow at the Date Festival.
Date Festival, yeah.
I think it's like 11 to 5 or something down there. You'll see him. He's dressed in a date costume. Looks like a big dancing raisin. That's Carl out there. So go out and see him. I did ask that question yesterday or a couple of days ago about the guy that was girl. I don't know who it was dressed up as a date. They have no indication that's going to be back this year. Well, what happened to the costume? We need somebody to be dressed up as a date. Somebody's got to do it. But maybe it'll be Carl. Maybe it won't. I doubt it. I think Carl will be doing something else. Getting back to the January 6th thing, the president's speech was over the top, outrageous, screaming, but it did get as bad as Harris's. I mean, Harris actually did worse. You didn't watch Harris, did you?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, it was to me that was just this is my wonderful president. And rah, rah, rah.
But Harris is so fake. I mean, it's plastic. It's almost like going to Disneyland, with the Hall of Presidents or something where there's the plastic. It's terrible. She says, and I don't know if she's going to break out in laughter at any point. Now, she didn't, but certain dates echo throughout history, she said, including dates that instantly remind all who have lived them where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendar, but a place in our collective memory. I don't think she wrote that. was actually well written,
No,
but it's too sappy.
too well. It's also well. She's not.
She doesn't deliver it.
She doesn't know how to deliver it anyway.
No. She said December 17th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, January 6th, 2021. But it was, I was like, oh God, kill me. I mean, the way she delivered it, what was said, it all being just fabrication is just crap. But I mean, some press is out there dancing around heralding, and this is the most wonderful speech ever, probably. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
I don't have time to type, but I'm giving you a fact check right now.
All
The
right.
Nuremberg Rules, also known as the Nuremberg Acclaims, came out of the World War II trials against Nazi Germany war criminals.
Mm-hmm.
It was an acclaim agreed to by the 5 major powers who put the Nazis on trial. It is not an official rule that must be followed by the United States. It was simply an act that was defined that you cannot mandate vaccines as in the past, not the present. So the Germans did this against the will of the people of Germany and many of the people in Western Europe and Eastern Europe that they conquered. So it was an acclaim, not a rule.
But don't we have some rules in the United States that vaccines must be approved for them to be mandated?
Yes.
Okay.
The Biden administration is using OSHA health and safety, just like it uses the Patriot Act, to go around those items. That's why we had to have a national emergency declared when Biden first came into office, where it was very quietly, to make OSHA rules a more of a point of fact rather than just a concept.
Okay.
So they got the act of law under the National Emergency Act. Now, the switcheroo with Goebbels is his name, Joseph Goebbels.
Oh, did I say Goebbels? What did I say?
It's Goebbels.
Yeah.
Goebbels.
Goebbels. Yeah.
Goebbels.
Okay.
Joseph Goebbels
Well, thank you.
was the Minister of Propaganda and Truth, is the one who developed the negative baseline prior to the Nazis taking power. And he did this in order to convince the people that the democratic government that was in place at the time was causing the rapid inflation and was causing everything else. Now, at the time, it was an actual fact that it was not the Germans that were doing it. It was actually the Allies that put the pressure on the Germans to have to pay back all that money from World War I. And that's what. So if you actually want to come to the Bruce, the people who put Germany in power was actually France. So that's because people were responding to economic need for that. Now, the last one that you just spoke of, it was Austin Green, Representative of Texas, who has written a bill stating that January 6th should become a federal holiday and national day of mourning. It has 32 co-sponsors as of today.
Do you remember all that off the top of your head, or did you have to look that up?
I had to confirm how many co-sponsors, because yesterday there was 30, now there's 2.
I knew
More. There's a total of 32.
I knew there was something floating around out there, but I had no idea who it was.
The Nuremberg trial, is anybody who paid attention in high school should know that fact.
Yeah.
And the way Germany, Hitler came to power was due to economic insecurities, because he was promising we get back to jobs, we get back to growth, we get back to this, and which was always shocked that they never linked Trump to that.
Oh.
Because that was we had to get Trump came back into power because people were tired of the economic inequalities that were taking place in the country.
Right.
And that was the baseline message originally of the National Socialists, was that the government, them, would do a better job of producing economic security for all in exchange for giving up all your rights and abilities to think freely. Now, of course, Trump did not say that, but it was the economics that put Hitler into power in the first place,
Well said.
which was given to you by France.
Well, no wonder you called. There would be too much writing to correct all that.
That would be way too much writing.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
sir. Bye-bye. Goebbels. God, you didn't correct me on that. You should have. He corrected me 5 times, I think.
Yeah, okay.
He must have been going crazy over there. Saying, we just got to slow these guys down and all that stuff. Well, good. And thank you, Edward. We need a fact checker at times. Getting into Kamala Harris. With her, Jim Jordan kind of jumped on her. Now, Jim Jordan, who is outspoken and actually very, he's intelligent, handles himself well, during interviews, questioning people. He's one of my favorites to watch when you're watching those kind of things that happened, that happened out there when our representatives will start asking people questions. Jim pins them down. He seems to be pretty awesome. In fact, it was suggested by Kevin McCarthy, the GOP leader of the House, that the January 6th commission, if to have Republicans on it, would be Jim Jordan and Jim Banks of Indiana. Both were rejected by Pelosi. Like, oh, hell no.
Hell no.
Yeah, we're not taking the guys that could actually ask real questions. Yeah. They took Cheney, Liz Cheney, and that other guy. I forget his name. But I guess because he's unimportant to me. But but Jim Jordan has been jumping a little bit on Cabela's for the comparisons to Pearl Harbor and all that, discussing. I think it was discussing, but I think it's more discussing even the way she delivered it. It's just like she's not real.
Well, this is a woman who, in the very first primary of the year, was totally rejected by members of her party in Iowa or wherever it was. Had less than 2% of the vote or 1% of the vote.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not popular amongst Democrats.
No.
So what makes them think she's going to be popular amongst the rest of the population?
Well, but she fit all the criteria that Joe was looking for. I mean, Joe was looking for somebody.
Joe didn't have any criteria except black female.
Well, that was the criteria,
and that's it. So
yeah.
if that, I mean.
I think it was between her and Maxine Waters. I think it was
you just took the words right out of my mouth. I wonder if it was a coin toss between the two of them or something.
Yeah, and that was it. And we need a black female, and she happened to fit that. So we get what we get, I guess. But Jim Jordan, talked about the comparison. He says, tell that to your granddaughter whose grandfather gave his life on D-Day. Mm-hmm. Tell that to your son whose dad was one of the firefighters who went to the tower on 9/11. Or frankly, tell that to Mark Sovak's family. Now, Mark Sovak was one of the 13 people killed in Afghanistan. Go tell them, he said. Well, actually, there's only one person. I say one. I got corrected. It was two that lost their life in violence during January 6th.
Yeah, girl was
one
shot.
Was Ashley, that got shot, and the other one was beat to death, which actually Dean called me up about that and showed me sent me some of the videotape of her being beat, and then later they said she died of natural causes or something, but. If you count blunt instrument as a natural cause.
5 people died in the Capitol siege and its immediate aftermath. That's the quote from the president yesterday.
Yeah, 5 people died. Because they count, I guess there was a few heart attacks or strokes within the crowd.
It seems, and I don't remember exactly.
But I think
it seems to me he talked about how one officer was killed. As a direct result of the.
Early on, they said that one officer was killed because he was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher.
Yes. And
of course that was a lie. They did not exist.
And yet Biden brought that out yesterday.
It didn't exist. It was a lie.
We know that.
And that was the guy that laid in state there at the Capitol.
Right.
And they knew then after the autopsy and everything it was a lie. They knew it was a lie, but they didn't say anything about it. They just kept. Talking about the heroism, and I'm not giving anything against the police officers. Police officers put up with something they shouldn't have had to, with all the pushing, the shoving, attacks on the police officers was unnecessary.
Yeah,
and it was wrong, and those people should pay a price.
Absolutely.
But there was no hit in the head with any fire extinguisher. There was no blunt object. The one with the blunt object apparently was this girl that died, and I thought it was a drug overdose, is what they said that she had a possible drug overdose. Apparently, it was a blunt instrument. The family's suing right now.
Yes.
For it, and we'll know more about that as that lawsuit becomes more public. But what went on? But the only one person died of violence that's registered, that's recognized.
Yes.
Possibly 2.
Yeah.
Everything else was heart attacks or strokes or some other natural cause. But there was enough people there that there was a few natural cause problems, and they got blamed as the riot. We'll be back. AM 560 KBLU.
From the 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating Studio, this is
News Talk 560 KVLU, Yuma.
Lower hiring and also lower unemployment. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Both are true in the just out December report.
The Labor Department says the unemployment rate declined to 3.9% in December. However, the number of new jobs created was only 199,000, about half the forecast. The discrepancy could mean more people were self-employed in the month.
Fox's Ginny Casola, the 199,000 hiring number, 50,000 less than November. The hiring slowed down amid a record surge of COVID cases, 3.4 million in the U.S. just the past 4 days. Worldwide, we've now just topped 300 million confirmed cases throughout the pandemic in the Johns Hopkins tracker. COVID controversies canceled school again in Chicago. Fox's Jeff Manasso has more live.
Students for a third day are in limbo in Chicago and forced to stay home after the teachers union voted this week to work remotely over COVID concerns and their new demands of school safety upgrades and other resources. Though there are some teachers like Joseph Cole who is still showing up for work, saying,
I'm hoping that the union would also realize that, there is this authority that they need to respect. They cannot just be dictating everything.
The city calls the teacher walkout illegal and says that Chicago schools, Dave, are safe.
Jeff, many other communities have switched back to screen school again, closing classrooms from Atlanta to Cleveland to Detroit to Milwaukee. Next hour, the Supreme Court will hear challenges to Biden vaccine mandates, the one for healthcare workers in federally funded facilities, and the one imposed by the OSHA agency on companies with at least 100 workers.
OSHA was created to make sure forklifts beep when they back up, not to force the vaccination of, almost 100 million Americans.
Republican Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt among those challenging that order. There's a fresh white snow blanket from Tennessee to Virginia up to the coast of Maine, causing travel trouble, canceling more than 2,300 flights. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with aches and pains, especially if they're frequent and nagging and relentless, I want you to take a moment and think back to the last time you really felt good. Can you even remember what it felt like? Now, here's even a more important question. What would you give to go back to feeling like that again? Maybe it would just be nice to take a stroll with your loved one or play with your grandchildren. I've suffered from persistent, crippling pain almost all the time for about 5 years. When I started taking Relief Factor, I took it because my wife made me start taking it. I didn't think it would work for me. Yet here I am today, virtually pain-free, doing the things I love to do, all thanks to my wonderful wife and Relief Factor. I love that it's not a drug, but it was developed by doctors, and about 70% of the people who try it go on to order more. Are you part of that 70% that can get your life back? Your first step to becoming pain-free just might be to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Find out more about this offer. Feel the difference. Relief Factor.
Here's the news in 60 seconds. YumaDailyNews.com. The Air Force has now joined federal paramedics and healthcare workers at Yuma Regional Medical Center as the area continues to have a spike in COVID cases. Chief Nursing Officer Deborah Ader says nurses who work at the hospital normally are welcoming of the extra help, but the pandemic has made their job very hard. Listen to our in-depth interview now, YumaDailyNews.com. Yuma's Proving Ground Swiss Army knife is a rare sight. It's actually a Cessna 208 that the Army is still using. Find out why at YumaDailyNews.com. And some sad news for a big box retailer here in Yuma. Bed Bath & Beyond says it's going to be closing around 3 dozen stores in multiple states, including Yuma, Arizona. The retailer says that it's reported a miss on revenue in its latest earnings report. Analysts were looking for about $2 billion, but it only brought in just under $1.9 billion. The closure of the Yuma store is expected sometime at the end of February. That's the news for now. I'm Andrew Caravella.
Arizona Marketplace is the largest and best outdoor market in Yuma County. Looking for unique items? Arizona Marketplace is your place. It's safe, clean, even the bathrooms. Shade, daily entertainment, food vendors, and RV storage. If unique is what you seek, they have everything you're looking for. Daily entertainment suitable for all ages. So round up the crew and head over to Arizona Marketplace. You just have to explore it. 3351 South Avenue 4E. Open Thursday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
AM 560 KVLU. Russ Clark with you on a Friday morning. Happy Friday, 7:04. Hyundai of Yuma. They are advertisers on the show, and they're over there on 32nd Street. So go give them a call. Take a test drive. It's a beautiful day out today. Mel's with me.
Yes.
Be a good day for a test drive. Just run over there and tell them that Mel sent you. You needed to take a test drive in one of their newer Hyundais, and hopefully you get a hold of that Santa Cruz, which is the truck. If not the Palisade, those are their most popular out there. They're hard to get a hold of, and some places sell them at a big premium. But see if you can take a test drive. I'm still waiting on somebody that bought one of those trucks to call me and tell me they like it. I've only driven one shortly. I mean, it wasn't on the lot very long. I got a couple minutes behind the wheel, and they had to take it back from me, but because I think they were getting ready to sell it. Now, the hottest selling cars out there, really. But America's best warranty for a reason, and that's because they trust the engineering. 5 years, 6,000 miles, 10 years, 100. Mel, on the front page of the paper this morning, Omicron variant officially arrives in Yuma County. Now,
Yep.
When they do take a test for the virus, I mean, if you can find one,
Yes.
big shortage under Biden.
Yes.
Yeah, big shortage. Can't get them. I guess they stopped ordering them to be made, but you're not getting a difference between the Omicron, the COVID, or the cold, or anything else. You just get tested, and they say you're positive for COVID. What they mean is you're positive for a virus.
Or a virus, yes.
Yeah, let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
I bet Edward has Mary Lou Henner as his best friend.
I don't know.
Well, because the reason I say that, Mary Lou Henner is renowned for her memory.
Oh, he does have a memory on him. Don't.
Yeah, he's like a walking, talking encyclopedia.
Well, I wonder. That's why I asked him. Did you stop and look this up, or did you already know it? Most of that stuff he's got pulled off the top of his head. I've been with him enough to where, he doesn't need, to Google it. he's got a lot.
Like your very Carl Sagan.
He's got a lot of basic knowledge, but I mean, he Googles to verify and to get more detail. But he'll already know what he's looking for.
I bet he's read Carl Sagan's book because you're going to need an encyclopedia to read a Carl Sagan book. Anyway, what I talked about, people mispronounce the name Nevada. They always call it Nevada, and it's Nevada. And you're mispronouncing Harris's first name.
Oh, Kamala.
Yeah. I try to get you on your private line, but you got busy, I guess. Anyway, it's Kamala.
Yeah.
Instead of Kamala.
I know. I don't care though. But yeah, I know that one. Yeah, but that was okay.
Okay. You're doing a George Bush, the first George Bush thing, right? But you know where I'm going, don't you?
Yes.
Saddam.
Yeah, he did it to irritate him. But yeah, exactly right.
Because Saddam was his name, but Saddam was his name.
Yeah,
Saddam
call him
was
Saddam.
a boot shiner, right?
I don't know what it was, but I know that George
Saddam was a boot shiner. That's why they shine boots.
Bush
That's
loved
why
doing that.
Bush called him Saddam instead of Saddam. Yeah. So you're doing the same thing with Harris. Okay. All right, I got you. I'm sorry.
All right, that's all right, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Goodbye.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, I don't enunciate her name properly, but I'm okay with it, Mel. I'm good. But the Omicron being in there in Yuma County, it shouldn't be a surprise. I think it's across the nation pretty much, and at least they think. But they can detect it, but I think it takes a lot more than our current testing and probably some laboratory work or something to be able to verify what it is. But according to Kevin Tennell, we're already in here now. Does that? And I say that's great. It's good. We're going to all get it eventually, apparently, according to everything I've read. It's going to spread and it's going to be out there. But it's going to help boost up your immune system for the COVID-19, the more deadly versions of it.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if you get infected, it's going to be the Omicron and not the Delta or the original COVID-19, which was novel at the time and proved to be more deadly, particularly if you have some comorbidities, and then you were in trouble.
Yeah.
And if you had some age to it and some other things.
A little bit of Theraflu and hot water will probably take care of
it. Is that what it is? Theraflu, hot water? Let's take a phone call. You're on the air. Oh, good morning. I'm sorry.
One more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to mention one more thing on this voter ID act I'm doing.
Yeah.
Anybody can sign this. Doesn't matter what political party you're in. Anybody that feels it's a good idea to say, yeah, show me a picture ID, is welcome to sign the petition. And what I'm doing is we're doing for Yuma County. Any county you go into, you can go sign. If you live in that county, you have to sign that petition. If you don't live in Yuma County, you can't sign this one. You have to go to the county you live in. So,
okay,
this is statewide, and it's if we want to take our country back and not let the communists have it, we got to start at the house and work out. So it's all up to us.
Yeah, I appreciate it, buddy.
You can't depend on your neighbor to go do it. You got to get up and go do it yourself.
That's right.
Bye.
We'll see you, buddy. Bye-bye. That's Carl again back there at the Date Festival this weekend. We're going to celebrate dates. So this Omicron thing, it says not all positive tests are sequenced. It takes 1 to 2 weeks to get the results and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what he means by all that. The Yuma County Public Health Service was notified the Arizona Department of Health Services the first confirmed case has been detected here. But it's probably been out here for a while.
Yes.
No big deal. A woman killed in a 3-car collision, and I usually don't mention those, but this was weird on 16th Street, Mel. Now, 16th Street's busy.
Yes.
There's a lot going on 16th Street, but it's generally low speed. It's 35 miles an hour.
Well, I don't know, because there are some folks around here who just love to sit there and put the pedal all the way down.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes on the way in the mornings here.
They go fast.
I mean, there are folks weaving in and out of traffic you wouldn't believe. So.
Well, this happened on 16th Street and Gateway. Remind me where Gateway Drive is. Where is Gateway Drive?
It's down.
Is it down in the valley? It's near Avenue A and B?
When you're going down, it's between A and B.
Okay.
Think.
It looks like it, according to the picture, it would be in that area, but it's real wide and everything. But shut everything down.
It's by where there's that. It goes into a not a mobile. Well, yeah, like a mobile home park or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, the 3 cars involved. I mean, they weren't old beat up cars or anything. They were fairly newer cars or whatever. But happened at 8:00 or 7:49 p.m. So it'd be dark already. Mm-hmm. But there's plenty of lights. It's kind of weird. Somebody lost their lives there, but a 60-year-old female was driving the red Toyota FRS. Now, that's kind of a hot little sporty car, but not a bad.
It's dark. It's already dark outside by then. Now at this time of year, the other thing is you have the bright lights of cars coming at you.
Yeah.
Which
But too bad. And on 16th Street, usually you hear about somebody gets killed in the car. It's out in the county somewhere where they have all those roads where some stop signs and they don't make sense sometimes to me. Mm-hmm. Like you can pass 3 or 4 roads, no stop sign, and all of a sudden you get a stop sign.
Yeah.
They seem to be irregular. There's no rhythm to them. And we get a lot of people in out of town that are unfamiliar.
Down there where she is, there's nothing stopping traffic on 16th Street that I can think of.
No.
In fact, if anything, there's probably a stop sign coming out of Gateway.
Well, yeah, and there was a 20-year-old that pulled out onto the street. Let me see, I think it was. 6-year-old driver, Toyota's name. She was making a left-hand turn onto 16th Street. Okay, the 60-year-old that lost her life was making a left-hand turn onto 16th Street from Gateway Drive and was hit.
That means she was crossing traffic.
Yeah.
She'd have to cross a lane to do it.
Well, you got to cross like 4 lanes.
Yeah.
It's very wide. It's got a center divide and 2 lanes on each side, so it's a big street. I try to avoid that at all times. Yeah. I try to avoid those lanes crossings. I would rather rather than take a left and cross all those traffics, I would rather take a right and find my way a different avenue. Just is a lot quicker and better, particularly when there's heavy traffic. You can't get across 4 lanes and take a left, not safely. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
how come we don't have? Good morning, first of all. How come we don't have a 1-year anniversary for the summer of 2020? That huge insurrection that took place back in the summer of 2020 when these lunatics in BLM and Antifa was burning down the entire nation.
We should.
How come we're not doing that?
I think there were 547 riots.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're talking about businesses burning. We're talking about police cars getting burned or lighting police cars on fire.
Mm-hmm.
People who were murdered. This was all during the summer of love.
Yeah.
Remember, the summer of love.
And
this
remember,
was the summer of love. And so why are we having a 1-year anniversary to celebrate the summer of love? You know? I mean, come on, folks. And this I mean, it's crazy. It's not right, man. I mean, it's celebrate 1 year, January 6th. These are protesters. I mean, they got out of hand. I understand that, but
there was a few of them, and it wasn't long before that there really was a rush on the Capitol, and they burning a church down the street, and Trump ran out to get some help to get that thing stopped.
Yep.
So where's the 1-year anniversary for all this? I mean, how come? Why? I mean, we know why.
Well, we do know why.
I'm just.
So
I mean,
all this is just theater, and on the front page of the paper this morning it has Biden saying U.S. in peril.
And you know what, Russ, Mel, until we get more Republicans like Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, we're not going to move forward as a party. We're not. I mean, you were talking earlier about these Dem rats and how they don't give a darn about these polls, or because they've got something. Hey, I've been saying this now for years.
Right.
They're not going to relinquish power. They're going to do whatever it takes to remain in power. Everyone's talking about the midterms. Oh, the midterms, we're going to take it back. We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back. Are we? I mean, I don't see. Look, what I do see on our side are a bunch of rhinos. I mean, forget Liz Cheney and Kinzinger, you know, the crybaby Kinzinger who was on ABC News yesterday fraternizing with the enemy and giggling and laughing and all that whatnot. You know, forget them. I mean, I'm talking about like Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy, whom I hope does not end up the Speaker of the House when we take back the House. So that's if we take it back, because I'm going to tell you something right now. These Democrats are going to do, again, as I stated, they're going to do whatever it takes to maintain power.
Yeah.
And until we get more Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene fighting for what's right, fighting for our liberties, fighting for our republic, we are in deep, you know, that. And so I'm just, it's a scary situation because, like I said, these Democrats are going to do whatever it takes to maintain their power.
I agree.
And that whole thing with that lunatic so-called vice president, laughing hyena, who stands there and compares what happened on January 6th to Pearl Harbor and 9/11. You know, in a way, I'm kind of like thinking, just keep it coming, because you know all she's doing is making more and more Americans angry. Her polling is in the toilet.
Yeah, none of that matters. They don't care. They
don't care. Why, Russ? Because they're going to cheat. You'll agree with that. They're going to do whatever it takes. They don't care.
I can't.
They've got all their little scruples and all their ducks in a row as to how they're going to do this. And again, I beg the question, or I'll tell this to all your listeners, our Republicans out there, because you all better wake up, because this is what's coming, man. They're going to cheat. They're going to do whatever. And if we want to get back to any sense of normalcy, then we better get out there and vote. And I mean, I guess it's up to us.
It is up to us, and it's up to us to keep pointing it out. It's up to us to keep mentioning it, and just like you're doing now, tell people that will listen. You know, don't force it down people's throat, but tell them.
But this is a big machine, though, Russ. I mean, one person can't do it. I mean,
no, it takes hundreds of us, and that's what I mean. We need numbers, and you're one of them.
More than that, man.
Yeah.
Well, you all have a great day.
You too, buddy.
Happy New Year, Russ and Mel.
You too. Bye bye. Someone wrote me. It says, "Isn't Green kind of a nut?" Yeah, really. Like the rest of us, maybe. But she's being portrayed as a nut all the time, like a gun nut and all that kind of stuff. Green, but no, I like her. I do. And is she a little wild and a little out there? I don't care. I don't care.
A few more folks out there.
ACLED recorded more than 10,600 demonstration events across the country in 2020, of which 3,201 were deemed to have hit riot level. ACLED is Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project. Never heard of it.
Never heard of that. Yes.
That comes from Edward, our fact checker.
Okay.
That's interesting. Someone else texted me also and said that this accident was yesterday morning. Now, the newspaper definitely says 7:49 p.m., not a.m. But said it was in the morning. And a gateway is the street at the bottom of the hill going into Hedema subdivision.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah, that's a shame. That was a shame. That's a tough one to come out of and take a left.
It is, because it's
too
kind of
much.
blind.
Yeah,
for one thing, it's almost blind looking to the left.
And it's coming down the hill, so you know those cars are going a little faster. They kind of speed up going downhill.
Yep.
And you start taking a left. There's too many lanes.
Yeah.
To come across. Take a right and find another way to turn around. Would be what I would do if I lived there. I don't live there. That's a nice division. That's a lot of doctors and lawyers and stuff back in there that live back in there. Nice subdivision. Ducey announced $7.5 million for AWC.
Yeah.
Which is nice. That's for the Law Enforcement Academy, and they do well with that. That's been a big addition to the county to add that. And AWC has been flexible. If they need nursing, they put in nursing. They need police officers, they put in police officers.
Yeah.
And of course, then we have the certification of the police officers now, which our sheriff Leon Wilmot talked about how many recruits went through, even though with the COVID they're still working it. So. We're a community that keeps adding those kinds of things that make us just stronger, and the retention becomes better. Yeah. Versus hiring, and it's cheaper, versus hiring somebody and then send them to an academy in Phoenix.
Right.
And then they go up there and they like Phoenix and they don't come back. Not good.
Well, what also happens is we go ahead, we train them, and even if we train them here, they go up to Phoenix because Phoenix is paying them more money.
Correct. But usually, training them here, we have, I guess, a better shot at retention.
At least we can keep them here for a while anyway.
Yeah. We'll be right back. AM 560.
It's 2022, and Bill Alexander Ford is ready to serve you with the same great service you've grown to trust. Check out the all-new 2022s arriving daily. F-150, Super Duty, Ranger, Maverick, Bronco, Explorer, Expedition, Escape, Edge, EcoSport, and Mustang. Need service without the hassle of coming in? Our mobile service will come to you. We've discounted the convenience fee to only $25 for the whole month of January. For difference you can count on. Shop your locally owned Bill Alexander Ford on East 32nd Street in Yuma.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Unionized Starbucks workers are already on strike. Wall Street doesn't bounce back from Wednesday's losses, and Alaska Air cutting flights. Those stories next.
If you feel like you're stuck with a healthcare plan that isn't affordable or you simply don't like it, right now is a great time to switch to MediShare. The typical family saves $500 or more per month with MediShare, and what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. You get access to a massive network of providers and 24/7 telehealth. And MediShare is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for more than 25 years, and it's more than just affordable healthcare, too. You get to be part of a community of Christians who pray for each other and support each other. But here's why now is the time to make the switch. Join before January 15th, and they'll waive your new member fee. So you'll save another $170 right off the bat. Call now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is January 15th, so you can save even more. Call 877-64-BIBLE. That's 877-64-BIBLE. 877-64-BIBLE.
Well, that didn't take long. Less than a month after they voted to become the only Starbucks store to be unionized, coffee shop workers in suburban Buffalo today walked out, staging a work action to protest what they say are unsafe working conditions. The unionized baristas say they're concerned about the nationwide spike in Omicron infections, although what Starbucks could do about that is anyone's guess. On Wall Street, stocks rose and fell slightly throughout the trading session, coming off sharp losses yesterday that were triggered by by reaction to the Fed saying it may be raising interest rates soon. But despite upticks at the closing bell today, stocks were lower. The Dow Jones Industrials lost 170 points. Alaska Air is trimming 10% of its flights for the rest of January due to the impact of Omicron infections. Please join me every weekday. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Weather is brought to you by Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros, serving Arizona for over 20 years.
Temperatures will cool slightly during the weekend. As far as this Friday, it will be clear early, then a sunny afternoon with a high hitting 74 degrees. Overnight clear with light winds at a low of 49. As an area low pressure moves by to the north, clouds will increase tomorrow, the high of 70. Then sunshine Sunday with a high again in the low 70s. If you're a valued customer, you deserve a simple gesture of appreciation from your credit card company, and that's why Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Discover, exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply. I'm meteorologist Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you warm and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1-HOUR for a free service call with completed repair. Don't forget, we're always on time or you don't pay in time. Always on time or you don't pay in time. Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Arizona Marketplace is the largest and best outdoor market in Yuma County. Looking for unique items? Arizona Marketplace is your place. It's safe, clean, even the bathrooms, shade, daily entertainment, food vendors, and RV storage. If unique is what you seek, they have everything you're looking for. Daily entertainment suitable for all ages. So round up the crew and head over to Arizona Marketplace. You just have to explore it. 3351 South Avenue 4E. Open Thursday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
The Border Report brought to you by RV World, located on Gila Ridge Road. Exit Interstate 8 on Araby Road, then head west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. RV World, Yuma's premier recreational vehicle dealer since 1991, offering a large selection of new and used RVs. Updated wait times for passenger vehicles in the standard lanes at our selected ports of entry. The wait at San Luis has grown to 2.5 hours with 2 lanes open, and at Calexico East, it's 45 minutes, 2 lanes open. Still an hour and a half at Calexico West with 5 lanes open. Update pending at Algodones. Get updated border reports anytime at YumaDailyNews.com.
Someone told me long ago there's a calm before the storm. I know.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you, Mel in studio.
Yes, sir.
FDA has been ordered to speed up release of approval data of COVID-19 vaccine. Now, amazingly, that's not been done yet, Mel. And they're saying that this COVID-19 vaccine was approved by the Food and Drug Administration. But we've all heard stories that the approval was improper. They approved a drug other than the vaccine, and then they did the old switcheroo and gave us something else. That's good. They're doing the landscaping here. Thanks for closing the door. Yeah. There's been people asking for the information, and I've read it's like 80,000 pages in the past of information. 80,000. How do you generate 80,000 pages, Mel? Just to prove it. Now I'm reading 400,000 pages here. 400,000 pages. You must really want to hide something if you have to put it in the middle of 400,000 pages. Well, a federal judge ordered them to release the pages, more of them a month than what they were going to do. Now, when they first asked for it, because of the Freedom of Information Act, the FDA cited staffing issues. We got staffing issues, Mel. We just can't release that paperwork. If you're a private company and the federal government says, give me these papers, and you say, I'm sorry, I got staffing issues, it'll take me a couple years.
800 reams of paper.
Okay. That's a lot.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean,
but how can there be so much is a question I have. Like, who writes all this crap? Now, they wrote all this crap real fast. Remember, they developed this stuff in like such a hurry. There must have been 1,000 people writing. I don't know how they create so much paper, but they did. FDA said staffing issues will only release 12,000 pages by the end of January. 12,000. And then after that, they can only give a minimum of 500 pages a month going forward. So it'd be the year 2097 before all the documents are made public. Now, Mel, they can create this thing and put it out to the public in months, all in the same year. It'll take till 2097 to release the paperwork on that they wrote during that time frame. I think that goes into the area of absurdity, and the judge thought the same way, apparently, because he's required them.
This one document has that many pages.
It can't be. You wouldn't think.
You did.
I mean, it's impossible. How do you write that much? I mean, how many?
Let's to give folks an idea of what that is. If you walk into Staples and buy a case of printer paper for your computer, the large case has 12 reams of paper.
All right.
You would have to buy 67 cases of paper to print that one document.
More than a pallet.
About. You'd probably fill up a pallet, yeah.
It would be more than, it would be more than a standard pallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't put that much on a standard pallet. So that's a lot of paper.
That's
Who sits down and writes that stuff? I don't know. Are they putting one word a page or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it must be one heck of a font. Yeah.
But the district judge, U.S. District Judge Mark Pittman, called the group's Freedom of Information Act request a paramount public importance, which it is. I mean, we're talking a drug that the U.S. government is forcing us to put in our arms, that is supposed to do something that it's not doing, and was promised to do something it's not doing, and now they're forcing us to take more of it to see if that might help do what it's supposed to do, although it's not doing. We don't know.
Based on a $400,000 or a 400,000 page document that nobody could have possibly read.
No, and it couldn't have been written in that fast. They had to be grabbing papers from other projects and throwing them in there. But the district judge says it demanded that the FDA release 55,000 pages a month, which means all information should be available within 8 months. Which is a long time.
Yes.
But at least it'll get done before 2097. That's what originally they had set up to have it released. That they would take till 2097 because we have a shortage of staff. We'll just send it over digitally. I don't care. I'll take it digitally. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How's everybody today?
We're doing well, Georgia.
Hey, I don't know about you two, but I've written theses and things like that whenever I was in college, so I could get my little degree.
Yeah.
And just for folks that have never done anything like this or had presented any kind of research paperwork, the first 3/4 of all that is a setup. It's setting up all your pieces in place, describing everything that you're doing, how you're checking it, and all these things, verifications and such. The last quarter, at the very most, is going to have all your pertinent information that's put together so you can truly understand. So basically, you want to look at the very last couple pages for the summary,
Yeah.
And so what they're doing the long draw out. So by the time that the information is really made public, then all of us are going to be dead gone and even not ever thought about.
Correct.
They've done a similar thing with the Kennedy assassination. I'm sorry, but I don't believe in the magic bullet that do a U-turn. I've never seen that, except in sci-fi, and I don't believe we're there yet. So
right.
Not in reality. So that to me is nothing but the government or whoever. That's just them drawing it out and not wanting the public to know what it is. And that right there should be the biggest of red flags of anything.
Correct. It should be. We should be going nuts. Like
yes.
When they're hiding something, then they've got something to hide.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I'm all about being very upfront and transparent when it comes to the government.
Right.
I think every person in Congress, if you run and if you're elected, then this is my personal opinion, but I think all your personal finances should be known, because there's too many chances for you to go up there and take advantage of the information that's flowing in D.C. or, for that matter, in any state capital. That's how I feel about it. Because
but these,
I mean, right now we all know that 53% of Congress, the U.S. Congress, are millionaires plus.
Sure.
Those people are not you and I.
Yeah.
Hell, Russ, you're better off than me. So you're not. I ain't even in with you.
Well, you're in bad shape, man. You're in real bad shape.
Oh, you ain't just whistling Dixie. I'm in bad shape. I mean, because of these kind of things. I mean, by taking advantage of the situation and the information that you get in, that's one thing. But when you're in Congress, I don't even think you should be allowed. I think your integrity is more important than a dollar bill that you can make.
No, wait a minute.
It should be.
But did you just say integrity in Congress in the same sentence?
Yes.
I know. See, that there's an oxymoron if there ever was.
Yes, that's right.
So, this and you said it right earlier, Russ, or maybe it was Mel. I'm not sure, but these tests, when you can find one, they're not telling you if you got an Omicron or if you got a Delta or if you got it don't know. It don't know if you got fruit salad. It's just saying there's a virus.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's all it's telling you.
Yep.
But now they're telling you that's what they want you to believe, that the Delta, the all of these others magically have disappeared, and now all it's going to tell you if you got Omicron. That's bull. That's such bull.
Right.
And for anybody to believe otherwise, well, there's a word for it. I'm just not going to use it.
Democrat. I'm sorry. I just said it for you.
I was just going to say a pure stupid. There are people, I'm going to say there are humans that are walking around this earth today. The only reason they're alive is they got involuntary muscle response to make sure their muscles are breathing. That's it.
That's right.
Because otherwise they don't think. They just listen to something, and if it sounds good, they parrot it right back out, regurgitate it right back out.
There you go.
It's an amazing thing. I've seen it, and I know you've heard it, that we are in an era that is full of information, but we are starving of knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Y'all
Appreciate
have a great
day. Thank you, man. Bye. Look at that. George is a philosopher. I like it. Something else in this article about the pages being released, and hopefully we get 55,000 pages a month. Maybe in 8 months we'll find out what we've had in our arm all along.
Yeah.
What did we take? I mean, we'll figure it out. It pointed out the lawyer representing the group that put the Freedom of Information Act out there pointed out that President John F. Kennedy said a nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people. Boy, do the modern Democrats or progressives know that John Kennedy said that? I mean, these are the most hiding, non-transparent people on the planet.
Would John Kennedy be elected today by the Democrats?
No, he wouldn't fit in. He wouldn't fit in with them.
He wouldn't fit in at all.
No, he would be pushed aside.
Sure.
We're progressives now on the Democratic aisle. He would not.
No, he wouldn't have a chance.
No, he wouldn't. AOC would not have accepted him, and so he'd have been out. If you don't have AOC support, you're not going to get in there. Vice President Pence, article here about him being quiet on the one-year anniversary, which he was.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
I mean, we had to leave room for the Hamilton singers to sing. Did you see that?
No.
It didn't add credibility to what they were doing, Mel. No. It didn't do that at all. It just made it look like it was more stage.
Well, I thought
because it was staged.
Everything this guy does is staged.
Yeah.
Because for him to just stand up in front of a reporter and answer a question without being prompted beforehand, it's just not going to happen with this guy.
No. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Russ.
Good morning, sir.
Good. Listen, on
Tucker Carlson taking on Ted Cruz.
Yeah, he really did, didn't he? Yeah.
He did. And, he wound up telling him, even after Senator Cruz gave his explanation of being sloppy and dumb, that he didn't believe him.
Correct.
Now, what is it that Tucker Carlson saw there that he didn't just come right out and say?
Well, he accused Ted Cruz of being very intelligent, very careful, very, very much somebody that when he said a word, it was well thought out, well placed, and he doesn't buy the fact that he just made a mistake. He thinks Cruz is too smart for that. That was his whole explanation. But I would give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I think Carlson was a little tough on him after, the long conversation. I guess I just don't believe you, is his comment.
That's where he wound up.
Yep.
I don't know what Senator Cruz was up to.
I
don't
know. But he regretted saying it. He regretted calling it a violent terrorist attack, and that was something he wanted to really, really pull back on and regretted. And Carlson wasn't going to let him do it.
Well, was Senator Cruz coveting something?
I don't know.
Well, when people use flattery, all right, outward make statements. Now you can cover up your statements, but sometimes when you make a statement, you're coveting something, you're wanting something, and I think Tucker was kind of digging, but he never got to the bottom. And and another thing is that he was trying to please somebody, Russ.
Who, Cruz or Tucker?
Cruz.
Yeah.
He would have said it if he hadn't been trying to please somebody, and if he did, there wasn't. If it hadn't been something he really wanted, because that's what gets responses like that. All right, our producers' responses like that. And was that a shot at Trump?
I think so. I mean, that's why he's trying to pull it back real quick, because it's death right now for a Republican to take a shot at Trump. Why would you? Why would you take a shot at Trump? Trump is not our enemy. And for him to do that, is it that he wants to be president? He thinks he's got to bring down Trump. You might be onto something there.
I think that's exactly it. He wants to be seen as the conservative. Answer to the question.
What you're going to see now, you're going to be looked at Liz Cheney, like Liz Cheney, if you start doing that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
He hurt himself, and he lost some stature with me. I'll tell you that, because I took that as, first of all, what produces a statement like that is you're coveting, you're wanting something.
Yeah.
And secondly, when you flatter somebody, he was before the Senate Rules Committee hearing on security lapses at the Capitol, and he went with the Dems. And you're seeking to please men for a motive and for a reason. And I know people say, well, motive, you don't really know for sure, all right? But I saw it as a shot at Trump's position, and I don't know if the war on wives had anything to do with it.
I don't know.
But when we got into the war on wives, but man, I hated to see him do that, and I lost some confidence in him, guys. I think people sometimes politicians do anything in order to get a.
Me too. I was not happy with it at the end, and I kind of want to see where it all settles out. And that'll take a few weeks.
Well, I do know this, guys, and that is you know them by their fruits. You don't get grapes from thorns and figs from thistles. All right.
No, you don't.
You guys have a good day.
You too, sir. Bye-bye. Yeah, interesting comment, and and I of course saw that, and I had it prepared to talk about today, but I really didn't know where to go with it, because I think Cruz has done tremendously well. I think when he ran against Trump, he really put together a poor showing.
He did.
Yeah, and not that he's a bad guy, just he put together a poor showing. And
the thing when Trump first announced way back when.
Mm-hmm.
People were talking about it, and Everybody said he didn't have a chance. I think Ann Coulter was one of the few that came out and said he had a chance.
They
to
laughed
win.
at her.
They laughed at her.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting talking with some friends at a group down in the library, and a couple of folks said he didn't have a chance, and I said he's going to win.
Mm.
There was very little doubt in my mind that he was going to at least win the domination. That was for sure. I said because people know who he is.
Right.
Everybody knows who he is. You may not like him or this or that, but if you know who he is, name recognition is paramount here in this game.
It is, but
and everybody knew who Donald Trump was. They may not like him, may not approve of him, but the fact that his name is out there, it's that. Why do people put road signs up? Why does Carl go out and put road signs up for various campaigns?
Big name recognition.
So the name is there. So when people go and they look at the ballot and they see a whole bunch of names listed on a ballot, they say, "Oh, I recognize this name."
Yep.
And I said, "It's there. He's going to win."
Well, Ann Coulter faded. She ended up attacking Trump because he wasn't conservative enough.
Right. Yeah. Well.
And she kind of faded. Her shine went away.
Yeah. Be that as it may, though, she realized the situation at the time being what it was, and she was right. He did win, and it wasn't much of a surprise. Like I told you, that election night, usually I stay up and watch the results. I did not. Once Iowa came in and it was all over, I said, "That's it. I'm going to bed." He's won. He's going to win.
Yeah, it was a shock that he won. I still I liked looking at the montage of all the left-wing news outlets that were coming to the realization, like, oh my God,
end of the world.
Yeah, that Hillary's not going to win the presidency. That was kind of interesting to watch.
Thank God for favors, for great favors there.
We'll be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
Would you look at the time? It's tax time. You already know H&R Block does taxes, but here's what you may not know when you file with H&R Block, like how you can get expert help in person or virtually. Plus, our tax pros average 10 years of experience. You can even request to work with the same tax pro every year, and your biggest possible refund is always guaranteed. No one offers more ways to help with your taxes than H&R Block. At H&R Block, help is here.
Mickey B's Cocktail Lounge has a new look because they have new ownership. Come celebrate to live entertainment and dance to your favorite oldies or country. If singing is your thing, karaoke every Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. till 10. Mickey B's is a supporter of our local veterans. So mark an appointment on your calendar to join in. Bring a friend or the whole office. Mickey B's opens 10 a.m. daily. 12635 South Frontage Road.
Hi, I'm Russell McLeod with Accurate Automotive Attention. Come in and see for yourself why your friends and neighbors once again voted Accurate Automotive as Yuma's best auto repair shop. We are Yuma's only AAA approved auto repair company, and with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, excellent customer service, repairs done right the first time, and our satisfaction guarantee, you are sure to be pleased with our service. Accurate Automotive has set the standard for excellent service for over 52 years, and we are proud to be your dealership and quick lube alternative.
Would you look at the time? It's tax time. You already know H&R Block does taxes, but here's what you may not know when you file with H&R Block, like how you can get expert help in person or virtually. Plus, our tax pros average 10 years of experience. You can even request to work with the same tax pro every year, and your biggest possible refund is always guaranteed. No one offers more ways to help with your taxes than H&R Block. At H&R Block, help is here.
The Border Report brought to you by RV World, located on Gila Ridge Road. Exit Interstate 8 on Araby Road, then head west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. RV World, Yuma's premier recreational vehicle dealer since 1991, offering a large selection of new and used RVs. And the latest wait times for passenger vehicles in the standard lanes at our selected ports of entry. Waiting at the updated Algodones. Calexico East is 20 minutes with 2 lanes open. 90 minutes at Calexico West, 6 lanes open there. 90 minutes at San Luis, 2 lanes open. Get updated border reports anytime at YumaDailyNews.com.
Tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. Mel's in studio. See, I got a couple comments here from the listeners. When I was talking about the vehicles earlier and the fact that some of them are premiums, and we've talked about that on the show a little bit. In fact, the Chevy, the Chevy truck, the electric one, we're only making a few of them, actually. They're not making very many. They took pre-orders on that, and then they contacted the people later, and they said, it's going to be up towards 30,000 more than what we promised. Now, that's the dealers, not the manufacturer, the dealers. Depending on which dealer it was, knowing there's such a high demand and there's so limited vehicles. The question from this, and I mentioned that the Hyundais are a premium, and they are at some dealers. It depends on the dealer. Premium meaning that it's got a sticker price of $40,000, and the dealer says it's going to be $46,000, and that has happened. I don't think it happens here like that, but it could. Dealers are free to do it. So he asked me, he says, seems like they're taking advantage of buyers during the pandemic, and wants to know if it's ethical for dealers to do that. Well, I would say it probably boils down to supply and demand, Mel, and if they charge too much, no one's going to buy it. And how much is too much? I don't think it's the right thing to do business-wise. I think I would have a bad image as somebody that's gouging customers.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't know that it's not illegal. Is it unethical is the question. I don't know.
If George is willing to pay.
Yeah, it's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
That's right. If you think it's worth $1,000, then you're going to pay $1,000. If you don't think it's worth that, you ain't going to pay it.
If you pay $100,000 for your house and 10 years later you sell it for $250,000, is that ethical? Well, no one questions that. No. You sell it for what the market price is.
Whatever the market is. Yes.
Yeah. And I think these dealers are doing the same. They're selling it for market pricing because, let's see, what did I see the other day that, there's a new camera out by Nikon. Nikon's making a new model, and that happens all the time. They make new models.
Sure.
And this model is expensive. It's a high-end model. It's like $5,300, $5,000 plus. But they're very limited, and they're selling them, and a lot of people want to get their hands on one. And they're selling for $12,000 on eBay. So people that got in early and got one of those cameras, ordered it, got it delivered, put it on eBay, sold it for $12,000. That's a good turnaround.
Yeah, I guess. Double your money.
Yeah, double your money. Is that ethical? And that's the same question here. Is it ethical for a dealer to do it ethical? The thing about a guy doing it on eBay is, he's not going to be a guy in business the next day that you're going to want to buy something from. He's just, it's a one-time deal.
It's a one-time deal, right?
And I think these dealers that do it to loyal customers would have a price to pay as far as image.
Yes, I agree, but you're talking two different situations.
Yeah, I'm making a comparison of where the market price is the market price.
Right.
And should a dealer charge market price when, when you go into a dealer and the list price is $20,000, you say, well, you take 15. Is that ethical? Mm-hmm. It's expected and it's normal to barter. Well, can't dealers barter up?
They can. And if you're dealing with me, you're going to end up losing the sale.
Yeah, you lose the sale. You can always walk away from it. You don't have to buy that car.
Nothing says I have to pay. I have to pay that $12,000, whatever it is.
Right, the extra price. Yeah.
Right.
So no, I believe it's ethical. I mean, it's all in the open. I mean, the sticker price is going to stay on the car.
Sure.
And if the sticker price says $40,000, you're willing to pay $46,000. Is that ethical? Probably.
Yeah.
Is it something I look at the dealer and say I'm not going to buy from you again? Maybe I would.
Do I want to stay in this showroom? No.
But if somebody wants that exotic car and it's not available, and that dealer's willing to, I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. It's nothing I would pay for.
It goes back to the just plain old supply and demand.
Well, yeah. If you're not,
do you really want it? This is the only one I've got on the lot. Do you want it?
Yeah, you can charge whatever you want.
Sure.
And what are people willing to pay?
Whether or not people are willing to pay, that's what matters. So. Yeah,
you never know. Interesting question. Good question though. Former Vice President Pence was quiet. Now, I'm talking on January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
When that first thing came out, he called it a dark and tragic day in America. Now, keep in mind, he was in the building. And I'm sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. He was in the building on that day because he was in charge. He had to run the joint sessions. That was him. And now he's downplayed it. He said one tragic day in January, and he argued that it was being used by Trump critics to undermine supporters of the former president, which is true.
Exactly right, yeah.
Which is true. And considering all that had gone on for the 2 years leading up to that, or the last few years, riots and public displays of outrageous burning and looting and all that kind of stuff was commonplace in many cities.
Yes.
People were frustrated and tired of it. And yeah, some people marched on Capitol and did some things they shouldn't have, which was very minor compared to a Portland or Seattle or
Portland and Seattle practically destroyed, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't that at all. In fact, if you look at some of the video, when these people just wandering around behind the velvet ropes in the Capitol, looking at some of the paintings and some of the stuff, they weren't ripping them down or anything. They were just looking at them. It was mostly there are some video where police officers were attacked, and those are the ones that are highlighted. Pelosi won't release the rest of them, and they confiscate a lot of them that used to be on social media. Social media had them out there, and they dumped them. They wouldn't let them be out. And they dumped the ones where they were actually just, chatting with police officers letting them in the building, all those kind of things. So the whole thing was, I don't know, wag the dog thing.
Exactly.
It's being rewritten.
Let's make something about it so that we can give us an excuse to do what we want to do.
MSNBC Chris Hayes asked what happened to the COVID preparedness funds for schools. Now, I'm kind of glad he asked that. In fact, Biden has alluded to it, and we're talking about the Chicago walkouts. The walkouts in Chicago because they said it wasn't safe. And Biden has quickly pointed out, like, look, we just spent $128 billion, on those things. Well, Chris Hayes is asking about it, which is right for MSNBC. Now he's getting panned about it because he's getting an education. And that education is when a politician says $128 billion, what does it really mean? Well, here's what it really means. Only $6 billion of that 128 would be used in the schools in 2021. The rest of the money would be paid out yearly till 2028. So even though Biden said, well, we just spent $128 billion, well, no, we allocated.
We haven't spent it yet, yeah.
And it won't be spent until 2028. Only $6 billion, I say only, that's a lot of money, will be spent in 2021. But the CBO report, and that's the Congressional Budget Office report, also said that previous allocated monies for 2021 school year had not yet been spent. So we allocated $128 billion, $6 billion to be spent in 2021, but they never spent it.
Right. Have not spent it yet, yeah.
And yet they're still at the gate knocking, we need more money. Yeah. Well, you've got all this money floating out there you can't even use, which I've said many times. Yes. When they talk about these kinds of monies, they can't possibly. They just try to get it allocated so that they can actually repurpose it.
Use it for something else.
Later on. So a lot of people made fun of Chris Hayes, like, you're just waking up. He wrote, I feel like there's a weird memory holding of the facts. Last spring, Congress distributed $123 billion to K-12 schools for COVID preparedness. That's nearly $1 million per school. So big question is, what was it used for? Well, that's when they laughed at him. And first of all, they did not distribute $123 billion.
No, they allocated.
They allocated it. They actually, looks like they distributed $0 because the 2021 was never spent yet.
Yes. Well,
so maybe they didn't know what to do. All these shovel-ready jobs that aren't quite ready, they don't know what to do. So they kind of like, hey, welcome to reality type comments. In fact, Steve Elliott with one of the media types. One liberal getting mugged by reality in real time. That's kind of nice. There are, of course, literally tens of thousands of different answers to this question I think they're going to vary quite widely. That was Hayes trying to make light of it, which really, when he asked the question, he really believed that money was spent.
Yeah.
No.
No, not
allocated.
Yet. Allocated. It might never be spent. That's the thing.
Oh, it may not never be spent on schools.
Who
knows?
Yes.
Later on, politicians move that money around to different coffers. We'll be back later. AM 560 KBLU.
From the 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating Studio, this is